There are many parts to an ecosystem. The most visible are, of course, those of its largest creatures. They rule the visible world with sharp teeth and claws, battling openly for survival. But what of those who lie beneath the surface? What of the tiny creatures? Those not built to fight, but instead to flee? What kind of world exists within the tall grass? Out of sight, out of mind. What goes on within the world of the dryo mafia? If I said that I haven't played dryo since the days of Spiro, would you believe me? Honestly, if I didn't have a goofy video from way back then, I wouldn't remember the last time I ran around as the bug-eyed little chicken. As I am attempting to run through the entire currently available roster and giving even the smallest of creatures a chance to shine, it is time. After spending some time growing in the swamp sanctuary, Tyler and I set off toward West Rail Beach to meet up with Farmer. It was beginning to get dark as we approached the area, and he let us know he was being attacked by a pteranodon. When we arrived, sure enough, above him on the beach was a Terra, and he was boldly standing below it, daring it to fly low enough that he could knock it out of the sky. Which was all well and good, until the second one pecked him and he realized that those suckers hurt when you're a baby dryo. He rushed into the tree line, and once we were all grouped up, we decided to have a bit of fun. Dryo in and of itself cannot fight many things. Not enough health to withstand many attacks from anything larger than Trudon, with his own attacks being defensive and forcing him to stand in place to use them, except for his peck. That wouldn't stop us, though. We spent a good chunk of time attempting to knock down a pteranodon so we could kick it to death. When they couldn't seem to hit us and we hadn't managed to hit them, they switched targets to a fresh spawn dibble. We rushed to the dibble's defense, little chicken legs flailing, to try and scare off the pteranodons. But then the dibble turned on us. Ah. What did we expect from a dibble? So anyway, after kicking it to death, Farmer and I said goodbye to Tyler as he had to log out for the day, and Farmer informed me that he was almost out of water, and was out of stamina. Side note, Dryo can use its dodge hop with 0 stamina. That's probably the only way that we made it to water before Farmer turned into a shriveled husk and died. Of course, when we did arrive, the water wasn't exactly safe. 2 floating corpses and 2 dinos all sat on the surface, not far from where we had to stop for him to take a quick sip, as he was fast red and likely to drop dead at any second. Thankfully, the dinos understood the unspoken rule. You don't kill dryos. They are basically the unicorns of Evrima, after all. We didn't stay to tempt fate all the same, though, and instead we simply moved to a safer drinking spot. Existing in South Plains as a dryo is dangerous business. The area is plagued by carnivores, and so naturally I stood in the open to be as visible as possible at all times. Surviving as a dryo is easy if I want to hide in the forest forever. And if you know me, I'm not one to just hide. Anyway, the sados turned away very quickly. They clearly understood that dryos are not to be messed with. The Troodon that showed up moments later, though... I mean, the war between Troos and dryos is well documented. Somewhere, I'm sure. Their pounces are deadly for dryo, and so though Farmer had only been pounced once, we fled back the way we'd come. As I stood on the nearby hill watching for the Troodon, I spotted something I couldn't resist. Land Dino. So what if the Dino wasn't concerned about the aggressive little chicken pecking his tail like it was a giant grub? He still took the food back into the water instead of staying on my dirt. So I'm claiming it as a success. After messing with the baby Sado and returning to our hill, the Troodon made his appearance once more. Except this time he missed his pounce, and we heard an incredibly delicious crunch when he hit the ground. Oh, buddy. Life went on. We made our way to Highlands in hopes of finding more gremlin-level chaos to get into. There, we spotted a young Sado and his absolute metric ton of dead deer. He sat down and I couldn't resist going to kick him. Because Dryo is adorable and can get away with just about anything. With nothing happening at the lake, or anywhere else really, we moved back to south, where we were greeted by a pair of Carnos. Okay, now those are dangerous. We dove into the nearby bushes. One Carno ran right on by, but the other came directly to where we were hiding. And so the game of cat and mouse commenced. One of the Carnos wasn't interested in killing us, but the other wanted to punt us across the planet. And then the chill one turned on us too. It was time to get out of there. The moment we were safely on the other side, we learned that we were not safe on the other side. How dare. Anyway, they chased us around for a good long while before finally giving up. We had far more stamina than they did. Sometime later, we logged back in and heard more dryos in the distance. We met up with them and did exactly what dryos do best. We stood on a small rock and sang the songs of our people. In fact, We sang so loud that the local Troodons joined us on our rock too. All across the southern plains, everyone joined in the Dryo song. Until a sado got too close and we scattered away. Local Carno number 5 arrived shortly after, having heard our heart songs and decided that we sounded delicious. Our new dryo buddies were killed, and Farmer and I both hid to try and heal from the attack. Which would have been fine, except a dibble chased the Carno off the bodies of our fellow dryos, and he ended up walking right on top of me. So anyway, the lone survivor. As Farmer began to regrow in swamp, I healed and started working on getting food in order. My plan was to go to Highlands again and see if there was any chaos I could get to up there. While munching on some agave, though, a tenno came rushing over to me. Now, here's the thing. This tenno gave me bad vibes. From the moment he first got close, something felt off. Maybe it was his initial approach, maybe it was his lack of dancing with me, maybe it was how close he stayed within my personal space when I started moving to get more food. But I felt incredibly nervous with him close to me. And so, with his body language feeling incredibly oppressive and dangerous, I juked back and away from him. With that one move, the switch flipped in his head. Gone was the supposedly friendly demeanor, replaced with a desire to pop my tiny head between his great big rat horse teeth. A pteranodon in the area heard me screaming and came to investigate. Clearly, he didn't like what he saw. Giant bully Tenno attacks helpless Dryo for requesting personal space. Nah, that didn't fly with him. The Terra distracted the Tenno, and I was able to finish getting my diets and get out of Dodge. As per the previously mentioned plan, I was on my way to Highlands. I had passed a large pack of raptors headed up the hill by the bridge, and figured I'd take the back way around to avoid them. Stopped in a tree to get some stamina, and when I got up to continue my journey, well, things went south. Literally.
Oh my word.
Oh, the raptors again! Oh crap, they spotted me!
That's not good.
Ah! He's after me!
No.
I'm gonna die! Yeet! Ah! What's the dryo to do when I'm being hunted by 2 raptors in the open?
What do you do?
Dodge and weave! Leap off cliffs!
Yes.
Oh, I know exactly what to do! Hey.
What are your
This
favorite
is bad,
spots?
this is bad, I fell in the water.
Uh-oh.
This is really bad.
Uh-oh.
Go, Dryo, go! Go, Dryo, go! I know where to jump from! Yeah! No, I'm gonna hit the rock. I'm gonna hit the rock. Oh, I survived!
Audio.
I met back up with Farmer, and we spotted a rather large herd moving through the plains. Which was all well and good, until we spotted the baby Sado in the middle of them. Well, well, well. There is an imposter among us. We joined the herd, waiting for the right opportunity to strike. That moment came sooner than we could have hoped. Up the hill, the Sado went, and we began our attack, doing our best not to be spotted by the rest of the herd as we did so. After beating him up quite nicely, he hid beneath the tenontos. Apparently, they were the most concerned about keeping him alive. We bided our time, and when the Sado sat down to heal, Farmer delivered the killing blow before we got out of there. Mission accomplished. Night fell over the area, and we crossed the river, not wanting to stick around the herd in case they decided to seek revenge for the untimely demise of their Sado. The desire to see just what Dryo could handle, though, drove us toward a slightly larger juvenile Sado. We'd spotted him with an adult earlier, but now they seemed to have separated, and we saw this as our chance. I think things were going pretty well, honestly. I kicked it, which is a decently high damage attack for most juveniles, and we had both bitten it several times. But then I spotted the adult Sado inbound. Whoop. Oh. He was trying to protect us. He sat down to reassure us he wasn't a threat, and we turned to run off up the hill. Only to run into another adult Sado that was much less Dryo-friendly. We could outrun it, but then we had a thought. And we promptly lured it to the other adult Sado. He heard us screaming and came running. We stood back to watch the fight, and were amused when the guard dog Sado won. And then we were away, off to lick salt and cure our stomach upset and get water. On the way back toward food, we spotted the Sado again. He'd picked up another, as well as a baby, and they appeared to be friendly toward a pair of raptors. Or at least they were, until the raptors decided that Farmer and I looked like delicious treats. Did we instigate a fight by leading the pursuing raptors to the sados? Maybe? We got out of Dodge as soon as the raptors lost sight of us. Or died. I'm not honestly sure which. A touch bored and deciding that we wanted more chaos in our lives, we decided to nest. Because what's better than nesting in an open field under a tree with heavy Herrera presence, am I right? Just as the eggs reached full incubation, I spotted a pair of inbound Herreras. Oh. Well, that's not ideal. We had planned for critters specifically to be nested in, so under immediate threat, we had her grab an egg, hatch, and run. Luckily though, the Herreras were on a mission. They went right on by, leaving our nest and our hatchling alone. So anyway, sometime later we'd left the nest behind and spent some time messing around in a wide open field in the middle of the night. Because why bother staying hidden? Just as our younger child spoke to the peace that is dryo existence, a fresh spawn Carno attacked me. He didn't last long. With the morning breaking over the hills and light fog hanging over the plains, we made our way down that hill toward the lower falls. Not without reason. We'd spotted a trio of Herreras and were trying to lure them onto the ground so we could fight them. As we moved, one attempted to jump critter, and we got our wish. Perhaps realizing how much damage our kicks do, the Herrera retreated up a tree while we stood nearby, daring him to come back down and fight. He decided to do the smart thing and stay in the trees. We, however, were growing bored very quickly. Our behavior was getting more reckless. Spotting a decently sized Serato adolescent, we mulled over attacking it, and decided to do the stupid thing, because why the heck not? Of course, I got myself stuck right beneath his face almost immediately, so that was incredibly special. As we looked for openings, a raptor arrived. We thought at first that he'd just watch, but then he came for us. Or specifically for Critter. While Farmer continued bothering the Serato, I ran to Critter's aid. Distracting the raptor and chasing it away. After mulling over our options, we decided to stand down on the Serato fight, and I headed to the river for a drink. This was when the Herreras from earlier decided to seek revenge. Oh, don't worry. They got their just dessert too. Apparently killing me caused them to fatal error. Whoops. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts below. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Hope to see you again real soon.